Hi guys, today we're going to be talking about what it means to be a superhost on Airbnb, what that is, the benefits of it, how you can get it, how you can maintain it, all that good stuff, as well as how the rating system on Airbnb works and some of my tips on getting 5 stars. All right, let's get into it. So, what a superhost is basically it's Airbnb's top performing host basically. And they give you a little badge that goes on your profile and it categorizes you as a superhost and every guest can see that. And yeah, so the way that you get it is by meeting 5 requirements and it's reviewed quarterly. So the first one is you have to have completed 10 trips already, 10 reservations with your stays, or have 3 long-term stays that total 100 nights altogether. So that's the first one. The second one is you have to maintain a 50% review rate or higher, and that just means that you have to write and receive reviews from at least 50% of your guests. The third one is you have to maintain a 90% response rate. All that means is you have to respond to every single message that you get within 24 hours. At least the initial message that you send has to be within 24 hours. You don't have to accept or decline the request if there is one. You just have to send a message, so it's pretty easy. You cannot have any cancellations, 0 cancellations. Regardless, there are penalties for the host if they cancel, which kind of sucks sometimes because sometimes you're in a bind, gets tricky, whatever. But I've never personally canceled, but I do know what the penalties are, so at least for the host. So for the host, if they cancel, they cannot rebook those nights that they are canceling. You have to pay a fee, which I'm guessing is probably just a percentage of what you would have made had you not canceled. You end up having to pay that percentage, I'm guessing. I don't know if that's true. And what's the last one? Oh, there's an automated review that Airbnb puts on your page that basically says that this host canceled. And so every future guest can see that stays there, it doesn't go away, that's permanent, so that kind of sucks. Last but definitely not least is you have to have an overall rating of 4.8, and that's out of 5, so that's really high. So let's get into the rating system though. In order to maintain that 4.8 stars, you have to really understand how the rating system works. And a lot of people assume that it's the same as hotels. So they go into an Airbnb and it's great, they don't have any issues, whatever, but it's not the same as a 5-star hotel. So they're thinking, okay, I'm not gonna give this 5 stars, even though they didn't have any problems. So what you need to understand is how the guest rates the host. They rate you on 5 things. So it's location, value, check-in, cleanliness, and communication. Now those last 2, cleanliness and communication, are really the main 2 that you need to focus on. The other 3 kind of just fall into place. Check-in, the one thing I'll say with that is it's really simple, just get a smart lock and you're done. You can get them where they, connect to the Wi-Fi, so you can change the code on your phone. I don't personally like that just because, if they're connected to Wi-Fi, they can be hacked. So I don't really like that feature. I just get the really basic ones where you just put in a master code, add the code, delete the code, whatever. So that's how I personally do it. I have a smart lock on both my Airbnbs as well as my own front door, and everyone has their own code, and it's so easy, so simple, and secure. Yeah. So yeah, and then value, that really is your place priced fairly, basically. Does the guest feel that what they paid for is what they got? Was it worth the price that they paid? That kind of thing. Location could be anything from, was the neighborhood safe? Did they have to like for example, my guest house, I didn't used to have a pathway leading back to the guest house. It was just they had to walk through the yard. And in Florida, the yards are really sandy. If you've been to my house, you know that my yard is basically all sand, patches of grass pretty much. So it's not fun to walk through it. It kind of sucks, but I was balling on a budget back then. I could not afford to get a pathway put in. All right, so location, value, and check-in. Those three, super easy. I just gave you a little tip for each. And then communication and cleanliness, those are the ones that you're gonna get hit on the most and the hardest if you're not careful. So cleanliness, if you do it yourself, if you clean it yourself like I do, then just be smart about it. You know, just actually put in that effort every time. Don't let yourself slack off. And, you know, if you need to, just look up how to clean things properly. You know, like look up tips and tricks on how to do these things so that you're not just relying on your own standards, because to be completely honest, like my standard for my home is way lower than my standard for my Airbnbs. And the reason that I have such a high standard for the Airbnbs is because when you go into a place that you've never been, you don't really know the host, you don't know the people that have stayed there, any kind of discrepancy is gonna be like disgusting, in your face, horrible. Whereas in your house, there's like dirt on the ground, dishes in the sink, who cares? People live here. Anyway, so just have that really high standard. You know, you wanna look at it like you've never been there. You wanna look at it like you have no idea who has stayed here, you don't know the host, you don't know who's cleaned it, you don't know when things have been disinfected. Look at it with those kind of eyes, with a fresh set of eyes is what I say, after every single time that it's been cleaned. And then that way you can catch those things if you did miss anything, and you know, your guests will be a lot happier. So that's really what I have to say about the cleanliness. Just really have that eye for detail. If you do hire a company, I would just suggest that you go there after every single time that they've cleaned and just kind of give it a once over, look it over, make sure they didn't miss anything. You could even, you know, sit down with that company that you hire and just kind of tell them, like, these are the things that I really want paid attention to. Please do this, and this. I like it when it's this way. You know, those kind of things. Really just kind of give them a quick training, and then that way it'll be more tailored to your needs and the guest needs, and you won't just have to rely on the cleaning company and what they think is best. And then as far as communication, when was this? This was like probably 6 or 7 months ago. I was sick of getting less than 5 stars. Like, I was done. So what I did was I just Googled, I was like, how to always get 5 stars on Airbnb. And a couple of the tips were really helpful. There was a ton of information out there, so many tips from all these hosts from around the world. It was awesome to kind of see what other people do, what works for them, what doesn't work, that kind of thing. So one of the things that really stuck out to me though was this woman, she said that you should over communicate with your guests. What that means, to me at least, is that just communicate every single detail, whether they've asked for it or not, whether they've responded or not. I mean, there's times where the guest will book one of the Airbnbs and they have to send an initial message when they're booking, they have to. So they'll just say, like, you know, coming down on these dates, we'll get there at this time, whatever. And that's it. I never hear from them again. So I will send them my message. I'll be like, thanks for choosing to book with me, blah, blah, blah. What code would you like for the keypad? And I don't ever hear anything from them. And then as it gets closer to their dates that they're gonna be checking in, I message them again and I say, hey, I haven't heard from you. I was just wondering what code you'd like for the keypad. And if I still haven't heard from them, which this does happen, where the guests will just straight up never again message you. If I still haven't heard from them by the time that I've cleaned and prepped and I'm getting ready to set the code, they still haven't sent me their preferred code, I'll just go on their page, look at their phone number, and make it the last 4 digits of their phone number, and then I will message them and tell them, you know, hey, because I didn't hear from you, I just went ahead and made the code the last 4 digits of your phone number. If you have any questions or issues with this, please let me know. I'm here if you need anything, like that kind of thing. So even if the guest isn't responding, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't still send your messages. So yeah. So as far as the reviews go, I'm gonna just read to you guys really quick. I'm on my work phone. A couple of the messages that I send. So there's quick replies and I have a bunch. I don't know why I'm showing you on my phone, like you can even see that. I'll just post it right here. So I have these saved responses: the initial response, parking, address, the day after check-in, after checkout, 5-star thank you, which I just now made that one. That one's new. Yeah, a bunch of stuff. So regardless, I think the two most important messages that I send my guests are the one that I send the day after they check in and then the day that they check out. So the day after they check in, I just say, "Hi there, just a quick note to let you know that I strive for 5-star service. If there's anything that is not up to your standards in terms of cleanliness, amenities, or anything else, please reach out and give me a chance to make things right. I want to make your stay here an enjoyable one. Thanks." So I send that one, and ever since I have started sending that one, I've gotten great, like way better reviews, way better. And it's crazy the difference that one message has made. So the responses that I get to that, I actually get a good amount of responses to that message. And sometimes people, they just need like more towels. Maybe they need the shower re-cleaned, whatever it is. They need more toilet paper, just simple things that are easy to fix. And then it gives me the opportunity to fix these issues while they're happening versus after the stay, and then I have to read about it in the review, and I never had the chance to fix these things. You obviously don't want your guests to have issues. You want everything to be perfect, but the reality is that's just not going to be the case every time. Sometimes your guests are going to have issues, and a lot of times they're going to feel uncomfortable reaching out to you first to say that they have those issues. So if you open that line of communication and say, if you do have any issues, please let me know, allow me to fix it. And, you want to be a friendly host. Some hosts get like really mad if their guests complain about anything. And I get it. I mean, it's not the best feeling, but at the end of the day, if you're able to fix those things in the moment versus just reading about it after, then, you can save yourself a lot of trouble, a lot of bad reviews, whatever. So then the other message that I send that I've noticed has made just the biggest difference is the day that they check out. I'll usually send this between 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. And the reason for that is because checkout time is 10 a.m. and then Airbnb prompts you to write a review between like 2 and 4. And I don't know why they prompt you at that time, but that's the first opportunity that both the guest and the host have to write a review. So I will say, "Thanks again, guest name, for choosing my home for your stay. I hope the home met and even surpassed your expectations. If there's anything I can improve to make it an even more special 5-star experience for you or another guest next time, please let me know. I've enjoyed having you and would be grateful for a review of your stay when you have a moment. Thank you again and be in touch." That one I really like because it's basically saying, I want your stay to be a 5-star stay, and if it wasn't, how can I improve on it? Both those messages that I just read, that's pretty much the gist of what you're saying. And yeah, so that is how I secure my 5-star reviews. I utilize my quick replies. Those are the best. You type it out once, you're good to go. You don't got to worry about it anymore. You don't have to worry about typos or, just whatever it is. Sometimes you're having a bad day, you don't want to be the friendliest person, you don't have to worry about it. You just click on the quick replies and you're good to go. So that is my favorite feature on Airbnb, is the quick replies. It's fairly new as far as, within the last year. So yeah, and then another thing I wanted to say about the reviews is the guest and the host both have 14 days from the end of the stay to write the review. And yeah, so the review is private. It's not public until both people have written the review or 14 days has passed, whichever comes first. So you lose the opportunity to write the review after the 14 days. And if you don't ever write one, but the other person does, theirs will then be published and you can see what they said. So that's, I think, all I have to say in this video about the Superhost stuff, the 5-star reviews. If you guys have any questions or want me to talk about anything in particular, please comment And please like and share and subscribe and all the things. But if you do none of it, thank you for watching anyway. And thanks for tuning in. All right, see ya.